welcome back to my YouTube channel. So spooky times are upon us, and so I figured I'd make a short list of how you can keep your pet safe during Halloween. So a lot of pets get injured or lost during this time, and you obviously don't want that to happen with your companion. Most of this is directed towards more furry, free-roaming animals like dogs and cats, but it can be used for any free roaming. There's a couple points I think that I'll make probably about like reptiles. It's kind of important and no one really talks about it as much. So I figured I would go ahead and make a video since Halloween is right around the corner. So this is kind of a weird angle to be recording at because usually that's my background as my enclosures, but I mean, she's just so cute. So, you know, enjoy the sleeping puppy in the background. So the first thing is basically if you are handing out candy to kids, try to make sure your dog is maybe put away if they're not as trusted. So for example, some dogs will just run out of the house. You don't want that to happen on Halloween especially. Sometimes they'll run, they'll get lost, or they'll get hurt even on Halloween, especially if you have like a black cat. Some places pit bulls, you need to be kind of careful, you know, because they're stigmatized and it's Halloween and people can be really twisted. So make sure to keep them away. If they are trusted and they are trained to not really react to children and to not react to the costumes or the knocking or anything like that, then, you know, feel free to have them just be very safe, maybe a leash if you can. And that does bring me to my next point, which is to make sure you have updated tags on your animals. You should do this anyway. This should be a year-round thing, to just have like updated tags in case they ever do get out. You don't want them to get lost or hurt or taken. Just have their tags on them, especially on Halloween. It's very important. So Halloween can be very scary for dogs and cats sometimes. It can be extremely stressful. So what I would recommend is just to keep them inside if they're not really feeling it. If you think that they're gonna get too stressed out, you know your pet, listen to what they tell you, and they don't have to be out. They can, you know, be put up, they can be left in the house. As much as people like to dress up their animals, sometimes that is not okay for every animal. Sometimes they get very stressed and the costume can make them more stressed. Rule of thumb, if any doubts at all, just leave them at home. If we go anywhere, my dog will be going with us, mostly because she is a service dog, so I do kind of need her to go with me. But my cat will be inside at all times, as well as my mom's dog as far as I know, because he can get stressed out and we just don't want to risk anything happening. So again, any doubts, listen to your gut. If they need to be inside, they need to be inside. That's all there is to it. So if you decide that they are okay to go with you trick-or-treating, that's great, that's wonderful. Make sure you have them under control at all times and you have kind of an escape plan for them. So maybe your significant other, if you take your kids trick-or-treating or you go trick-or-treating, maybe you can have someone assigned to the task of taking them home if they need to. If you do take them out, don't leave them in your car while people are trick-or-treating. If you get out of the car, take them with you. Don't leave them in there because sometimes bad things can happen. People are messed up. It's Halloween. Please be safe and keep your pets safe. So if your dog or cat is not stressed out by costumes, make sure you pick a safe kind of costume. So you don't want anything too constricting because that will cause a panic reaction from your animal, whether it's cat or dog, mostly cats. If it's constricting or if it like impairs their vision, so like anything like this or covers their face or anything like that, it can make the most tame animal not so tame because they are very irritated and they are very panicked and they're scared. So they will kind of have a fight or flight response, and you just don't want that to happen on a day that's supposed to be fun for everybody. You don't want anything bad to happen to your pets or anyone that your pet might be around, so just be responsible with that. Make sure that anything you put on them, you can put 3 fingers underneath it and it's loose enough, because you don't want that to constrict airways or hurt them or anything. Also make sure there's nothing on the costume that can be chewed off, because dogs and cats chew things and you don't want them to like swallow rubber or something like that. That can suffocate them. So be very careful, be very mindful, and make sure you keep an eye on them if they have a costume on, and make sure that it's not going to wrap around them or anything, and that you have visibility of what's going on. So don't leave them unattended in costumes either. Okay, so the best thing for Halloween is decorating. But if you have dogs or cats or any other free-roaming animal, just be very careful with your decoration. So for lights, you want to make sure that they aren't going to chew up the cord or anything, get electrocuted of course. You also want to be careful with candles. We like to use tea light candles or candles that aren't in reach of the dog or cat. I actually had a friend that their cat almost got on fire because he jumped over a candle. Yeah, don't do that. Just make sure things like that are put away or out of their reach, or they're at least very monitored when they are around it. Jack-o'-lanterns also, or just pumpkins in general. Dogs like pumpkins. Pumpkins good for dogs, but of course in moderation. You don't want them to eat too much of it because it can be harmful. So just make sure you're very careful with your decorations, and that honestly nothing's going to really spook your dog. So if you have something that maybe talks or yells or screams or whatever, make sure your animals are kind of okay with that. A little spook can be kind of funny, but make sure they're not like petrified of it. You just don't want them to be so stressed out at a time where there's going to be a lot of like people outside yelling and in costumes that the dog's not really familiar with. So you just want to be careful, especially if it's the first Halloween that your dog or cat is experiencing. Alright, so candy, just make sure your dog or cat or whatever doesn't eat any of the candy. It can be very harmful for obvious reasons and can end up killing them. So just be very careful. Make sure you have it stashed somewhere where they can't get to it. You know, all that kind of stuff. Also, this one's not really mammal or anything related. It's more for reptiles like snakes. A lot of people want to take their snake out on Halloween. Don't do that. It's just very stressful for snakes. Some lizards would probably be fine with it. I'm not as knowledgeable on that. Obviously, I don't have any lizards. But at least for snakes, I see a lot of people sometimes that will have ball pythons around their neck while they're going trick-or-treating. And that can be extremely stressful. They can also pick up diseases. They can even pick up mites. It's just overall not a great situation for the ball python to be in, or for any snake to be in, rather. So I'm just really against taking any exotics trick-or-treating with you. I think that that's a little, you know, it'll just stress them out too much, and it can be hazardous to their health. Halloween's a very spooky time, especially for animals that don't know what's going on, so just make sure that they are as safe and stress-free as you can. Alright, well that's pretty much all I got for this video. I'm sorry it's kind of short, but I feel like these are things that kind of need to be talked about. I hope you all have a very happy Halloween and stay safe out there with quarantine still in effect. The pandemic's not over for a holiday, so don't forget that. Please stay safe, please stay healthy, stay hydrated, and have a happy Halloween. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. The link is down below. I'll probably be posting some Halloween themed pictures, so don't miss that. Also, don't forget to follow Daisy's Instagram account if you're interested in more service dog side of things. I take a lot of cute pictures of her, so I'll link that down below as well. Let me know what you did for Halloween, and if you dressed up, what you dressed up as. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!